Okay, hello, Sean. It looks like we are live on Facebook. Sean is an amazing, talented, gifted project manager, and also a father of two and husband um, of a successful, beautiful wife. And he just completed my 90-day transformation program. And we're here to kind of share why he came to me and what changes he went through and if it really was a transformation. So Sean, welcome. Thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me. Hi, everybody.
Yeah, and can we just start out by getting into like where you were at when you first came to me and, just 90 days ago, 3 months ago, and what prompted you to book that first call, to book your first discovery session or breakthrough session with me?
Sure. So, quick background on me. I came from the corporate world about 15 years, and I ended up leaving my corporate job to come home and support my wife's online network marketing thriving business and also help out with the kids. And then after about a year or so, I decided that I wanted, whatever you want to call it, I needed more in my life. I needed something that was mine. So naturally, I started looking back into like corporate, and I hired a career coach. And I just felt like through that process, it wasn't solving like the issue I had at hand, which was I was never fulfilled in my corporate life, which is why I really didn't have much of an issue leaving it. Fortunately for us, we were in a financial position for me to do that.
Yeah.
I never looked back. And going through the process again of going back to corporate, I was like, I don't think this is for me. But I had this major like block of what it was that I wanted, and I knew I could really reach people on a personal level through a personal startup business. And I just really didn't know how to get started. And so I came across Tara's blueprint, the Manifesting Mastery Blueprint, and it just touched me, in an incredible way. And I knew right away that it was going to be, a good fit even before I talked to Tara, which is tough because, we hadn't had that personal connection yet. So when I jumped on the call, Tara just made it very easy. And I just felt connected right away that this is where I needed to be. And this is the step that I needed to go into next to really sort of find the direction that I wanted to go professionally and also personally. The two are linked very closely. And, just to quote something that came from your mastery program, and I'm just going to put it in here. Obviously, like to live a lifetime of fulfillment, purpose, and prosperity, without a doubt, that's what I wanted to do. And I didn't have that in my prior professional life. My issue was a major block. I could not figure out how to get started. And I needed help, with clarity, purpose, but just also narrowing that gap of what I was, put on this world to do. So guiding high achievers, which I consider myself to be, to define success on their own terms and rise with ease and flow, and not stress and struggle. I mean, that just grabbed me immensely. And that's exactly what I needed at that current time. And, I was, just to be frank, I was slipping into this depression area, and I'm not there anymore. And I really thoroughly needed sort of this life coach to get me to the next step. Again, both personally and professionally.
Thank you for opening up so much and sharing all of that. There's so much you said that's interesting. I mean, life of purpose, passion, prosperity. I mean, obviously I'm so passionate about that. And yeah, when you step into that purpose and something you're passionate about, then it becomes easy to flow with more ease and not be in this stressed out position. And that's what happens when we're on the wrong path. You also said that your corporate days seemed unfulfilling. But if I could share with everyone, we went through a long time of like whether or not you were going to go back to that.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think that's important to share with people because it really feels like it's easiest and it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's easy to go back, but you get in and you're unfulfilled again, you know, but you feel like you have some security, you know, but you're not where you want to be.
Yeah, I'm this risk averse person. I think there's a lot of people like out there that are like that. And so the security and stability in what was known for me is that I was successful in the corporate world. So it was
Yeah.
really tough to like step away from that, though I knew deep down that is not where I needed to be to really reach my full potential in this life. So I think it was getting out of my comfort zone. And again, a coach is something that I needed to hold me accountable and get me to where I needed to be.
I'm so glad. And you know, it took a lot of trust on your part because we had never met before. You saw me online. You live across the country from where I live. You live out east. I'm in the Midwest. And yeah, how did you have that courage to step forward and even trust in yourself and trust in me? Because I think that's scary for a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, timing obviously has a lot to do with it. So kudos to you as far as like your ad that reached me.
Yeah.
and
Meant to
and how
be.
you, it's meant to be. Yeah, exactly. So it was meant to be. The week prior to that, I was really slipping. I really was, and there was nothing. I had scratch and clawed to find what it was, and I couldn't. And fortunate enough, we connected, and you know, right away I started to see an impact and progress being made, and I was out of this. I was excited again. You know, excited for the next thing. So,
Yeah. That can affect all of your life. I mean, you're at home with two small
so did
children and your wife, and
I. Mhm.
yeah, to bring your best self to them, I think is it's so amazing to take the risk and invest in yourself and say, I want to be here for people I love. So kudos to you for that.
Yeah, yeah.
I know it takes a lot. Did you feel that you got all of the support you needed throughout the program?
Yeah, I did. You know, even the access I had to you, like using Voxer and constant communication and, you know, you following up on sort of next steps to make sure I was doing those things, holding me accountable, but certainly not in like a pressure type of way. It was, again, this with, to read the words, rise with ease and not stress and struggle, which is kind of what I was putting on myself beforehand. I think it was just like an accountability partner, someone like a coach, you know, someone
Yeah.
sort of pushing you, but at the same time supporting you. And yeah, I fully feel like I got, you know, everything I could possibly imagine and more out of this.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. Yeah, and a coach does all those things, but there's still that part of calling you out on your BS. Like, you know, we all do that. I do it too, but like where we might hold ourselves back
Yeah,
or say, well, it's safer to go this route. Like that's where I think you can't. That's the part you know, besides the accountability, you really can't do that on your own. Is see where you're holding yourself back.
yeah, yeah.
Did you? Would you?
Yeah, and I was going through this, you know, roller coaster of emotions, these ups and downs, like being excited at one moment and then you know, being down the next as far as like, am I in the right place? I think you helped me sort of level that out, and that having that sense of clarity is what did it, that I was in the right place. And also just the, you know, the books that you recommended, the self-development, personal development books, Loving What Is. I can't see that sort of, I know that feels to me like that's your sort of lead book, and maybe it's, you know, customized to me based on the, you know, our introduction and what you felt I needed at that time. But that is definitely a book that has stuck with me, and realizing, you know, getting out of my head and just, you know, certain thoughts that would come in my head, is that real? Is that reality? And just having this kind of conversation with myself that no, that's not reality. These bad thoughts or negative thoughts that I'm having, that's not reality.
It's a story. It's just a
Yeah,
story I'm telling myself. Like, and you can get really far into that story of like nothing's working, or I can't do this, or life,
yeah,
you know, life is shit. Or you can get into you could choose another story that's going to support you on your path. You know, there's
mm-hmm.
always what I would say to people, there's always going to be a million reasons you can't do exactly what you want to do. But listen to the one reason that you can. There's always
Yep.
some reason that's driving you. and you
Yep.
know that there's something about it that's possible, and tune into that. So with that, let me just ask you, considering where you were at then when you first came to me, and now you're a graduate, so to speak, of the 90-day transformation program, transformed. So where are you at now? Just where's life at now, or, what changes have occurred?
Yeah, so I've launched my own business as a small business consultant. Project management is what I did by trade, and so I'm incorporating that into helping people sort of on the front end. And in corporate life, I was doing project management, but I was so buried sort of behind the scenes, and I felt detached and never felt that I was really making progress in someone else's life or reaching them. And so now that I'm sort of on the front end of things and running my entire business, I feel that I'm going to be able to get that. So hoping to get my first client shortly. And, I set up a whole business page, with the support of Tara and ads and things like that. So I really feel like I'm going to be sort of stepping into what I've, was born to do. So.
Yeah, I think so too. It's going to be awesome. But yeah, you just really establishing the business and having a clear plan for where you're going from here, like, your offers to people, the conversations that you're going to have. I mean, even an absolute, script of how you talk to people when you want to give them the buying, get them in the psychology of being ready to buy, and then hear the buying signals and know when they're holding themselves back from what they really want to do. A lot of that is what I share in the program. And I think that's been really, really kind of exciting for you as someone that didn't come from a sales background, but when you're an entrepreneur, you're in sales. I mean, that's part of it.
Yeah. And that's what held me back too, is that I didn't have that piece of me. I always had in the back of my mind that I didn't have these entrepreneurial skills or mindset. And I think that without a doubt has changed through this process. And just a quick note on the sales script is dynamite. It is pure dynamite. And it really helped me. Again, I've already had my first run through with a potential client, and the feedback was, you could just tell, wow, this person gets me like quickly. I mean, we're talking within 10, 15 minutes of meeting with someone, through the guidance of the script, you're able to get underneath and connect with them. And that's exactly what they're looking, because you need to gain trust as quickly as possible.
You go deep level and you show people you care. I mean, that's what my sales script helps allow you to do. So, So with that, I'm so glad that's already happening, already having sales calls and finding potential clients. So was there anything about the program kind of maybe off the beaten path, or something that surprised you that you didn't expect to get from the program?
Yeah, I think your spiritual background, meditation specifically, like I didn't think I was a person that would ever delve into meditation. But when I jumped in, I was all in. So I was ready and willing to do sort of whatever it took inside the program to get me to where I needed to be, and just completely buy in and let yourself go. And so I started meditating, and it was that piece alone was transformational. Just sort of getting into my head, getting into that space, and really controlling that space instead of letting it control me. So the meditation, I think, was the biggest surprising element for me, that I was, I knew it was out there. I knew other people had success with it, but I just didn't think it was something that would help me. And I couldn't have been more wrong.
Well, I think two things that you've shared, with whether it was the meditation work, the work with Byron Katie, some of the inner work that we did, it was learning to manage your mind. You said, instead of letting the mind chatter and the negativity like control you and take a hold of you and bring you down to even depression, like you learn to be the one that's like, I'm the leader. I'm in control of my mind.
Yep.
And I get to make the decisions on where the mind is going to take me. And that I think is what's really life changing. Like when you can manage your mind, that's when you can you have the tool for success in everything, right?
You can accomplish anything.
Now you have control. Yeah. I mean, the mindset piece is like, people think, oh, whatever, show me the business tools, show me the ads. I'll do all that. but you've got to master the mind, you know.
Yeah.
It'll
And
take you away. It can
and
take you
over,
down as much as it can take you up.
absolutely. And over the years, like I just became, analysis by paralysis. I just continue to further myself in that. And so I think, with the meditation, it sort of took me back to like when I was 10 years old, where you don't even think of things. You just, not that you don't have some fears out there and you don't address those fears, but you're childlike. So I want to experience things. I'm just going to go. I'm just going to move. So.
Yeah, I'm really passionate about that. I love that you did that comparison. I mean, really what it is it's emotional intelligence. And as we get older and we get into business, many of us that go the corporate route, which I did too, then we end up, just making decisions based on logic and analytics, which you're saying, this analysis. But we forget to like trust ourselves and tune into our intuition. And that's really emotional intelligence, is tuning into your feelings. And I mean, Steve Jobs, arguably one of the, greatest entrepreneurs of all time, was a big proponent of this, and it's interesting because here's someone that's this major, transformational leader from, because he transformed our entire technology of the world, was really going on quest to India and doing meditations and doing, teaching intuitive business. And so I love seeing the marriage between the analytical, logical mind with the intuitive and emotional intelligence, part of it. So,
Right.
And then lastly, just would you recommend this program to others, and maybe share who you might recommend it to, if it's someone that is looking to start a business, if it's someone that has a business, if it's someone that's into spirituality? I mean, who would you recommend it? And if so, what are you thinking of who you'd recommend it to?
Yeah, to your point, I think the audience can be pretty wide, because, obviously mine was directed at professional, like starting a business. But there's such a personal element to that. So anything, I think the first and foremost is addressing sort of your personal issues and obstacles and blocks. Certainly from a business perspective, absolutely. Again, I lacked confidence in that marketing, selling side of things, and you certainly took me to that place that I was now comfortable. But like I said, I think at the foundation of this is somebody that is having trouble in their life, that is struggling, and really there are no other excuses as to why that struggle is. It's you. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, everybody needs help. And what I've come to find through this process is everyone, like all of the big sort of coaches, like coaching is huge. And everyone tells you that in order to further yourself, both personally, professionally, whatever your goals are in life, you need someone by your side to hold you accountable, to support you, and to get you to where you need to be. And I am case in point, that's exactly what I needed. So certainly anybody that wants to start a business, but also anybody that is having, trouble in their life, or is, just needs some personal help and accountability to what's going on in their brain, to free them up and to be able to send them on a journey that is really what they were intended for.
Yeah, a place of clarity to get to your purpose wherever you're at starting.
Exactly. Yeah.
So many of us need that clarity of how we can rise higher, whether we're rising higher in our purpose, in our business, in our life, in our relationships. It's like, and not be worried and anxious, anxiety ridden, stressed out about it, but say, yeah, I can rise, and it's going to be me shining from the inside out. So obviously I'm a little passionate about this, but thank you for sharing so much of your personal story. And thank you for trusting me and being on this journey together, because it's been truly an honor to be with you, to get to know you better, to watch you grow and succeed. I can't wait to see more of what you do. And with that, is there anything else, or we can sign out?
No, I think that's it. I hope everybody is well out there, and I think you can certainly trust Tara that she can get you to where you need to be.
Oh, thank you so much, Sean. I'm so happy that that you had such a great experience and that you're going to continue on an amazing path. So, okay, we'll sign out. Bye, everyone. Take care.